Hey everyone, it's Krista here with Outgrowing, and on this video we are going to be talking about the dahlia tubers that I ordered this year. And so a couple things. One, I have to confess, I completely forgot about the dahlia tubers that I saved from last year, and I was totally going to do an experiment and it just blanked. I put them in the spare room. I didn't think about them. They were out of sight, out of mind, and I forgot about them. Now, that being said, a friend of mine once told me that that's what his family's always done. They just let them dry out. They soak them in water for 24 hours before they plant them, and boom, everything works out for them. I tried one tuber. Now, this isn't saying much. I just took one tuber. I took a bag because I put them in brown bags. There's a video about it. I put them in brown bags, and I took a couple brown bags home with some tubers in them. I tried one, and so far nothing's popped up. So we'll see when I go home. I might grab a couple extra bags and try them out when I go home. But we'll see. So that is a fail number one on my part. Oh man, I can already tell this year is going to be an interesting year for me. I feel there's a bit of a interesting shift going on in not just myself, but the world. Even last week, having the fire, oh my gosh, that just is, I don't know, there's something happening. So I think this year might be a bit interesting for me, but that's fine. we're up for whatever comes our way. So I wanted to tell you guys about my dahlia order. So I did order some new tubers this year. I didn't absolutely love what I got last year, mostly because I ordered from a very large wholesale supplier, and your options are quite minimal, or like you don't get, or not minimal. I mean, they have lots of options, but they're not super unique varieties. So I decided to go with Unicorn Blooms this year. They're a small company, I think a smaller scale company out of Ontario. Originally I thought that they were out of BC. I don't know why I thought that, but on my invoice it says they're out of Ontario. So that's interesting to me. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I might be getting them confused with a different company. I just can't think of it right now, but it's all good. Anyhow, so I ordered them and they just arrived on Friday. I kind of expected them a couple weeks earlier, but they ended up getting tied up somewhere because of Good Friday and all that stuff. So here we have them. It doesn't matter to me. I just plant them, tuber in the ground, and let them grow. I don't sprout them. I don't have room to do that. So I just don't. I just put them in the ground and go for it. Last year was pretty much my first year growing a lot of dahlia tubers, and it worked out pretty good. I got those thrips really bad, and so those are a pesky little fly type bug that is tiny, and it affects really bright colored flowers, especially. I'm sure all flowers, but it really goes in and it'll create discoloration in your flower, and they're very attracted to bright colored flowers. So this year, my friend Phyllis has ordered me in something to use, a chemical to use in the garden. I know that's not everybody's go-to, and you know, we try to do as much, and I don't even know anything about it, so I'm not even going to say much about it, but we try to steer away from that and introduce biological things, I was hoping to introduce biological things into the garden. The unfortunate thing is that when you are growing in an uncontrolled environment, so not a greenhouse, like you're growing out in a field, those bugs are susceptible to flyaway. So if there's not a lot of pest pressure in the garden at the time, they can go off to find what they're looking for elsewhere. And then you've spent all this money and you're out your biological pest management. So I did look into that for thrips, and there is something, but it has to be the right conditions. You have to introduce them at the right time, all that stuff. So Phyllis got a hold of me and she said, I got a little bit of this to try. I got one for you too, so we can try it out and see how it works. And then if need be in future, we can bring it in. So I don't even know what it is. I got to pick it up tomorrow. But it's something that we will be using in the garden. So that is hopefully going to eliminate our thrip problem, because they really can decimate a flower crop in a hurry, and they can really affected the dahlias last year, and my cosmos. They really affected both of those. So I wasn't super thrilled on that, because I love both of those flowers so much. And so you know, at times they were really bad, and then they kind of by the end of the season they weren't quite as severe, so I was able to use some flowers and stuff like that. But hopefully this year, fingers crossed, we have a better year. And I'm trying to scale back a bit of what's going on as far as the flowers go, just to get a better handle on my garden, get a better handle on growing certain types of flowers. So this year I do really want to focus on growing the dahlias a bit better and storing them properly and really paying attention to that this year. It's just by the end of the season and you're exhausted, you got to go dig these buggers up. And so by that time you're just like, get me out of the garden. That's kind of what happened to me last year. Was just like, I'm over this, but I'm going to make it better. I'm not planting as many dahlia tubers. I'm going to be cautious of what I'm planting. But anyways, I want to get on and tell you guys about what I did order. I obviously had an insane love for the kind of sunsetty sunrise vibes. The oranges, the peaches, the creamy colors, the light pinks, the blush pinks. I obviously was feeling that intensively when I did this order. There's also some, I ordered some that I wasn't able to get because they didn't have enough stock. So the ones I did get, they all kind of have this similar kind of vibe to them where they're coppers and peaches and all that good stuff. But it doesn't matter because I love all that. And I'm really loving like that dusty rose color and that peach color and that kind of romantic kind of sunsetty feel. So I got a lot of that. So let's get started. Well, we'll start with this bag because it's right here. Starting to sprout. Here we have the Sweet Suzanne, and I'm very, very excited about these. I'm very, very pumped. I've got 15 of those, and so the Sweet Suzanne, they're iridescent in the catalog. It says they're iridescent apricot, peach, creamy, buttery yellow. Think about that. Imagine that. Iridescent apricot, peach, creamy. It sounds delightful, and honestly it looks delightful. So it has more of that creamy buttery yellow color with that little bit of iridescent peachy apricot color. So that's going to be more of that on the creamy color as opposed to the orangey, but still going to have a teeny little bit of that in there, and I think it's going to be very beautiful. So I think I'm very excited about that. That's going to be one I'm super pumped about. But also one, if we don't get those thrips under control, that's one that they're going to be just like zeroed in on because of that white creamy yellowy color. So whatever, that's okay. Then we have 15 of the Copper Boy. So the Copper Boy is it's a more deep, sorry, just talk about, it's more of a deep coppery color. Anyhow, so it's like that deep reddy copper color in the center, and then as it goes out to the outside petals or to the tips of the petals, as it opens up, they become that lighter coppery orange apricot kind of peach on the end, on the tips of them. But it is predominantly, by the look of the picture, now I've never grown these before, but predominantly it's that kind of intense dark copper reddish color. And so that'll be kind of one of the more deeper intense dahlias that I'm growing. That'll be really nice to add some really like some good mood into a bouquet, especially into the fall. I think that'll be really nice. I think that'll be a beautiful one. Caramel, I got 15 of those. That wasn't originally on my wish list, but because I wasn't able to get some, I ended up picking a few extras just to be able to complete my order so that I can actually order it, because you have to have a minimum order if you're going to order wholesale. That's the one thing about ordering wholesale, you guys. You have to do a minimum order of on a lot of these places. So it honestly would work out better and more beneficial to you if you could get together with another flower farmer if you're a small scale and do orders with them. I was talking to a gal from Yarrow and Rye is her flower farm, and she's a small scale flower grower close to where I am. And I said to her, like, if we want to order perennials, we should do that together next year, because oftentimes you have to order 25 of one variety of one thing. So I did that for myself because I have my home and then I have the farm, but I loaded up on lots of perennials and I don't need to do such a significant order. So I talked to her and she was cool with that. So we'll see if we can connect. I also have another friend who's interested in that. So that will work out really good for us if we can kind of figure out some things that we all really want to grow and do an order like that. So you do have to have a minimum order when you order from these places. And that's why it's not necessarily always easy for everybody to go and order from these places, because you do have to have that minimum order. So, and I think with Unicorn Blooms, it was $4.50. So there's that. So, okay. So then we also have the Portofino, and the Portofino is that rich peach in the center. And then it's got the pinks and the yellow as it opens up. So almost looking like a burst of colors. Okay, so that's kind of the peach, pink to yellow. And I think that's going to be, it's a bit more bright. So it's going to be really, really beautiful. But also it'll be a great summer to fall one. I think that the Sweet Suzanne will be really, really beautiful for a summertime one, provided we get them. But I'm good at mixing in colors anywhere. I'm not one of those people that is like monochromatic and sticks with one color for one season. No, I'm big, bold, beautiful, bright. Put all those colors in there. Let's make it happen. So that, and you can add a little bit more of the burgundies and whatever for a fall, and you can add, whatever. But I like lots of different colors in my bouquets. Doesn't matter to me. So that's the Portofino. And then I think our last, yeah, that's 5 more of the, oh no, these are 5 of the Sweet Sanne. The Sweet Sanne is, oh gosh, I looked this up and then I forgot to write down the description of it. It's like, it doesn't matter. Our last but not least is Peaches. So the Peaches is going to be beautiful. It's like a dark pinky, blushy pink in the middle, and then it goes out to and peach in the center, and then it goes to light pink peach on the tips. How beautiful. I am not planting these yet. I am actually holding off for, I may plant some things on May long weekend, but the majority of what I'm planting is going to be planted on like the end of May, beginning of June, in that time frame. Last year I planted way too early. I had to reseed a bunch of stuff. I lost some stuff. I had poor germination. It wasn't great because I was really pumped up. We were going on a cruise, my mom, my sister, and I wanted to get it in, so I wasn't thinking about it. Reality was I should have just done it when I got back. Here at the farm, our temperature is a bit different than at my house at the beach. And so we are always a few degrees cooler. Where the ranch is specifically, well, it is like my sister calls Invermere the weather donut. And I said to Mark, I think we should call the ranch the weather donut, because in this specific area, we get a ton of moisture. It rains. We get more snow than a few miles up the road. Like it's incredible right here in this little, I don't know if it's because of the lake right there. I'm not sure. But we had so much moisture last year that we had the beginning of the year was just, but then once everything started to grow, it grew phenomenally last year. So I had a really good crop. So that's going to wrap it up for my unboxing from Unicorn Blooms, you guys. I am excited to try these out. I'm a little disappointed in myself that I forgot about the other dahlias. I really have to do a better job at storing them and reminding myself to check them every once in a while. But I'm going to take some dahlia tubers home this week, not from this one, from what I saved, and see if I can't get them to sprout. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not giving up because, plants are interesting. And so are those tubers and roots and stuff. Like my ranunculus, they just totally dry out, and then you just pop, whatever. I have ranunculus growing at home. Not a lot of them. I didn't save a lot of my corms. But you know what, you guys? We're in zone 3 in Saskatchewan, and I have ranunculus growing in the garden coming up that I never, ever took out of the ground. They overwintered. If you can imagine that. I didn't even think it was possible. I got to look up way more about these ranunculus, because if that is possible, I am not bringing them in ever again. Like, I'm just going to have a little ranunculus patch and let them be. I'm just fingers crossed that they grow really well, which I can't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, they're coming up. They are coming up. Okay, before before I take off from this video, I'm going to go show you guys. And then we'll be done. So if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hopefully the videos keep coming fast and furious for y'all. And you guys can see what's happening at the ranch and all the fun things. And hopefully there's no more fires. But yeah, let's head over to the ranunculus so I can show you guys quickly. Because I am shocked. I'm shocked. So let's head over there. All right. Okay. Now this is ranunculus. Like I'm almost positive. This is where I'm pretty sure I had them planted last year. I had some extras planted over here. And then there's another one. And here's another one. And another, like, yeah, there it is. So I am surprised, you guys. I think there might only be 4. This is that sage that grows everywhere. Oh, actually, look at this. Look at this, you guys. There's another one. Another one. Oh, okay. So we have like a little patch. Oh, I'm just noticing here's another one. See, that's the sage. Looks similar, but different. Like they're different. They grow differently. Like this sage grows on like that, like a stem, you know, and it smells. And then these little guys have these little, like they're just little in there. So I cannot believe my eyeballs. So that is very interesting to me, you guys. I can't quite believe it. Like I didn't think ranunculus overwintered in Saskatchewan, but we maybe just had so much snow cover. I'm telling you, we probably had in this area like 4 feet of snow cover. So maybe that's why. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, you guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to show you my cool little sightings. And this is in my perennial garden where I have lots of perennial stuff grow. So I'm happy if they're growing in here. This is kind of where I plant stuff. And then I hopefully will be able to like divvy it up from here and then move it out into the big garden because we're going to do some perennial planting out there and stuff. So that's going to do it for me, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon.